Hey, Steve Harrison here. Do you have something that you want to raise awareness about? Is there a difference you want to make? Maybe you want to start a nonprofit. Well, with me is Michele Whetzel. She's the author of a book called So You Want to Start a Nonprofit? Now What? How to Start and Run a Successful 501c3 Charitable Organization. Now, Michele has led 3 statewide nonprofits. She's helped with the startup of 2 charities, and she's interviewed more than 60 nonprofit experts across the country to get their insights and their cautionary tales because she's seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Michele, welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier that there's a very hard to believe statistic that you encountered while you were doing research for this book. And what is that statistic?
So I was shocked to learn that there are more than 1.7 million public charities in the United States. And in my small state of Delaware, there are about 1,000, which means for every resident, for every 1,000 residents, there's one charity that can help them.
Wow. So it's a lot of charities.
Yes. And so they're duplicating efforts, and they're competing for board members and volunteers and funding and even the clients that they serve.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think that's something that your book brings to light, right? Is the idea that it's great to want to make a difference. It's really important. We need those kinds of people. But one of the things that I think you're helping people to see is that starting a nonprofit isn't the only way to do it. And of course, if you're going to start one, here's how to do it because people make a lot of mistakes. Let's talk with the first one. So you want to start a nonprofit. Now what? Talk about how actually sometimes that's not the best way to go, that there are other things that maybe would work better and be easier.
Right. So I have seen many people doing great work and having big hearts wanting to make a difference. And I love that. But sometimes starting a nonprofit would be the hardest way to go about helping others. You have to incorporate and apply to the IRS for a 501c3 and set up a whole structured organization. And there may be an easier way to do your passion project without having to go through all of that. And you can spend more of your time working on your mission than on the operations.
Because it's easy to get mired down with all the operational headaches.
Right. And most people who found a new nonprofit don't realize until they're in the midst of it that there are so many day-to-day things that they have to deal with, fundraising and board members and employees once you start to hire employees and payroll and all of the things that don't go to your mission.
Hmm. So what inspired you to do this book?
Well, I heard a lot of people who had suffered a tragedy in their life or a loved one that they want to honor in some way or promote awareness of something, and they say I'm going to start a nonprofit, and I know how hard it is to run a nonprofit and to fight for funding all the time. And so I wanted to offer alternatives to things that they may you may want to start a for-profit company and funnel some of your funding to a cause that you believe in, or maybe you just want to raise funds online and donate to a cause, or volunteer for a board or a committee, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're giving people your book's different, right, in this way, because you're sharing, not just how to start a nonprofit and what to do to be successful, but how that's just one of many options. There's other easier ways to make the difference that would might be even easier and might even allow you to make more money.
Right. A for-profit company can have investors, and they can they can worry more about the bottom line than about following all of the IRS rules to be in compliance and things like that.
Where can people, get more information about you and how can they get in touch?
I have a website, 501 guide, guide.com, and that is full of information. I have a link that you can download policy samples and bylaw samples and things like that.
Fantastic. Well, Michelle, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.